Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to compare Google Sheets against Microsoft Excel in pulling in stock prices to see which spreadsheet program is better to use. So I'm going to start with Microsoft Excel, and in a previous video I've gone over how to pull in stock prices using Power Query and pulling them from Yahoo Finance. But there's an easier way to do that if you've got the latest version of Excel. If you're running Office 365, there is a stock history function, and I'll show you how that works. So to see if you have it, just type in stock, and then you'll see if stock history is there. If I hit tab, it'll autocomplete the formula for me. And the ticker that I'm going to use is Microsoft. So its symbol is MSFT. And I can specify a start date as well as an end date for the price that I want to pull. So I'll start with just historical stuff from the start of the year. So my start date, I'm going to put in quotations 2022-01-01. And for the end date, what I could do is I could enter in today's date, or I could use the today function, which is just open and closing parentheses, no other arguments. Hit close, and now you'll notice now I've got Microsoft stock prices up until today. So very easily pulls in the history. Now I can clean this up a little bit more by saying, okay, let's say I just want to get today's ticker price. So what I can do here is my start date, I'll set it to today, and then leave the end date. For the interval, I'm going to put in, just leave it as daily, and I want no header, and I only want the close. So I'm going to enter in 1. So the benefit of doing this is now I've just got today's stock price in that cell. So that's going to be really useful if I want to compare one date against another. Right, so let's say if I wanted to copy this formula here, and in here, instead of today, I'm going to use that the first trading day of the year, which is 2022, January 3rd. Close that up. So now, if I wanted to quickly calculate, the Microsoft's year-to-date returns, I could take the starting today's price divided by the price it started at, minus 1, get the percentage, so I can see that it's down 18%. Now, the one thing to note here is if you've got the wrong date reference, like 0101 January 1st, that was not a trading day, so it's going to give you a value error. So if I click on this, it says non-trading days. So that's the one thing to watch out for, that it won't automatically push you into the right date. Obviously, you can work your way around this if you had a list of trading days set up, whatever the case may be. But if you run into a value error, you may want to check just to make sure that you're not getting that error because it's not a trading day. So if I correct this and put January 3rd as the first trading day, then I get the value and the stock price pulled in correctly. So that's in a nutshell how the stock history function works in a quick overview. The one thing to keep in mind is if you're pulling in this today value, if you're looking for the most up-to-date price, you won't get it with the stock history function. I'm doing this late in the day, so this is well after the markets have closed. So if you're planning to pull in the price as of this hour or on the current trading day, you're not going to be able to get this. As the name suggests, stock history, it's good for pulling historical stuff, but if you want up to the date, up to the hour, let's say, or something a bit more update, then you may want to use Google Sheets in that case, and that's what I'm going to switch over to now. So on the Google Sheets page, you can access a whole lot of information using the Google Finance function. So you can pull in a lot more than just the stock price, but that's what I'm going to focus on here. So if you just want to pull in Microsoft's current stock price as of a 15-minute delay, then you can just type in MSFT for the ticker and type in price. You don't have to specify anything else. You'll get once it loads in here, the current price. So the same thing using the stock history function. The one thing is it's a whole lot easier. You're just entering Microsoft, just putting the price, and it's going to give you the current price with a 15-minute delay. So it's not going to be up to the minute, up to the second. So that you're not going to get that with either one of these, whether you're using stock history or the Google Finance function. You're not going to get up to the second, up to even the minute if you want. 15 minutes is the best that you're going to get with Google Sheets. So this way it'll automatically update throughout the day as your spreadsheet updates. So the big advantage with Google Sheets here is the formula, for one thing, is a lot easier to use if you just want that current price. Now you can also pull in historical values if you want. As you notice here, you've got the start date in here as well. And just like with Excel, you can easily pull in historical data from Google Sheets as well. So if I wanted to set a start date, here I can type in, again, 2022-01-01, so January 1st. The benefit here is that Google Sheets automatically does push it to the next business day. So here you don't have to worry about whether you got the date correct. Google will automatically do that for you. So it's a bit of an advantage. The simplicity of it is that you don't have to worry about, if you've got the right date. You're not just going to get a random value error saying that you can't do it. So if I wanted to, let's say, put in a range of days, I can enter the number of days, or I can put an end date. So let's say I wanted to pull the next 10 days. I'm just going to enter 10, hit enter, and now it's going to populate the next 10 trading days. So it's an easy way to pull in the history. Now the one drawback here is, in here you don't have a way to get rid of these headers. So this is the one thing that I'm a bit disappointed with in Google Sheets. There's not a way to pull in just that value. Like, let's say I just want the January 3rd, 2022 closing price for Microsoft. I can't get that into one cell. It's going to download all these headers. It's going to pull in this value here, so I can't get it into one cell. So the one thing I really like about the stock history function in Excel is I can pull in the precise value that I'm after just in one cell. So it's really useful if you want to pull in the exact value without all these extra headers, with all this extra data. Excel does that part better. What Google Sheets does better is it pulls in the current prices, and the process is a lot easier. You're less likely to run into errors using Google Sheets just because it's a lot more simplistic. I mean, just entering price, it'll give you the active price. If you've got the date wrong, that's not going to be a huge issue. Or you reference a day that isn't a trading day, right? So Google Sheets is a bit more intuitive in that sense, where it'll automatically push you to the next trading day. So wrapping this up, a quick summary is, with Excel, the main advantage is that you can pull in a stock price for an exact date, put into a specific cell you want. Both Excel and Google Sheets can pull historical values relatively easily. The disadvantage of Excel is the stock history function. It's not available on older versions of Excel. With Google Sheets, I mean, there's not. If you're using Google Sheets, there's just one online version. You don't have to worry about that. With Excel, you're not able to get in to pull current prices, or at least Google Sheets has more up-to-date values. And with Excel, if the day you entered in your formula isn't a day that the market was open, you'll get an error, whereas Google Sheets will fix that for you. So I would suggest, if you're just looking to pull in historical values, if you want to compare some data in the past versus today's or yesterday's value, then Excel will be a bit better in that. You can still do this in Google Sheets. Obviously, you've got the dates in here, so you could do a VLOOKUP if you wanted to pull in a certain value and to calculate returns. And I've got a video on how to calculate stock returns on Google Sheets, but Excel's Excel does that a bit easier, so you don't have to do those extra steps. So that's the main advantage for Excel and its stock history function. If you want historical stuff, then that's your best bet. But Google Sheets is definitely better. One, because it's easier, more intuitive, easier to use, and it's obviously more up to date. So really, what it comes down to is how are you using these stock prices. If you want historical, go with Excel, and if you need that to fit all neatly with the fewest number of formulas, then Excel's the way to go. Otherwise, in most cases, I would say Google Sheets is probably going to be your best bet for pulling in stock prices for a list of stocks.